Hello, everyone. This is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. And I figured I'd come on live a little bit here. I'm going on my walk, and I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And not only a Merry Christmas, but a Happy Hanukkah. Because today is the first day of Hanukkah, also. And it's one of the few times that Christmas and Hanukkah come on at the same time. So that's kind of a special thing because it usually doesn't happen that way. So we'll see. Nobody's on live with me here. I think I am live. Yeah. If anybody's on, just let me know if you can hear me. And just talking about Christmas. Oh, thank you. Awesome, my friend. Thank you so much for letting me know. You're the only one that's on here with me. And I just wanted to come on today. I'm just doing my walk. Thank you. Thank you, Craig. All right. We got a lot of people. It's a little bit overcast here, as you can see. It's about a 20% chance of rain. Doesn't look like it's going to rain, but it's a little bit cloudy here. You could see over there, but it's not too bad. It's a pretty nice day. So I figured I'd just come on since I'm doing my walk and everything is just so peaceful and quiet because everybody's probably indoors, either playing with their, you know, PlayStation or Xbox or video games or their toys or whatever they got, or they're ripping wax or whatever they got there. So, Merry Christmas, my friend. So, yeah, I was talking that today is coincidentally not just Christmas, but it's Hanukkah, the first day of Hanukkah. So, happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas. And that's not something that happens very often. And in my family, we are Catholics, and we celebrate Christmas. But I have part of my family is Jewish. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you, Macintosh. So, um, it's one of the few times that we ever have both Hanukkah and Christmas together. And my grandmother's sister, my aunt, they've all passed away now, but they she married a Jewish uh, person from Poland and converted, and then had kids. And so my cousin is Jewish, and so we would celebrate that when I was younger and do both. And it wasn't really very normal to have Christmas and Hanukkah on the same day. So that's it's a wonderful thing. So I'm just going for a walk. I've been walking for about, I guess, about a mile and a half. And we're going to go to the end here. And I think what I'm going to do today, since it's a special day, do a little bit longer walk and walk all the way down. Hey, Dave. All right, my friend. Merry Christmas. It's great to hear from you. And I hope all is well with you and your family. So, I'm going for my walk. I figured today I'm going to go ahead and walk all the way down to there's an outside mall here, and it's close, so it's good. Not busy. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, guys, for hopping on here and just hanging out with me. Not really one of the best days to be doing YouTube and stuff. Merry Christmas, my friend. That's one of the workers there. He goes in his cart. But yeah, nobody's out today, it seems like, which is a good thing. So I can go out for a nice, relaxing walk. And I'm going to walk out about a mile from here, a mile and a half. We get there in about 15 minutes. There's an outside mall, and usually they decorate it all up for Christmas. But it's been busy. I mean, I went to it, took a look at it, but now that it's all the stores are closed, we'll go see what it looks like. So basically, I'm just gonna spend the day with the family today. Later on in the afternoon, I'm gonna go to my mom's. I uh, I made a pumpkin cheesecake. It's in the fridge, ready to go, and that should be good. It looks good. I made it before, and everybody loved it, so I figured, you know, try it again. And I asked around what everybody wanted me to make. Usually, I'll make Spanish Cuban dessert, a flan. It's like a custard. And everybody loves that, but they wanted something different. So, so we're gonna hang out over there. I got one of my sisters is in town with some family, and we'll have a good time. So we're gonna walk here and get out of my development, go down to the busy street. We'll check it out. But it was fun last night. I was watching, hanging out with Lou Rock, and Bob, and Mike Sticks and Themes was there, and a few of the guys were hanging out on the live stream, and it was great chat there with, of course, Mike Petty and a bunch of other guys hanging, just chatting. It's just a fun thing to do. I always like to hang out and just chat to my buddies in the chat and just listen in and see what everybody has to say. And it's always a fun thing. And Dave, Amish Dave, he's also got a really nice thing there, but he went on like 5 hours. So I hang out with him a little while, then I'll let it go a little bit, then come back, see what's going on. Hey, Pick a Jam. Merry Christmas, my friend. I gotta tell you, Jim, one of the nicest guys. The first guy I really got to know pretty well at the Atlantic City, at the National there. We hung out, talked for a long time there, got to know him. Super, super cool people. But you know what? Everybody in this community is great. You know, everybody that at least hangs out, kind of. I'm not talking about Jeff Wilsons of the world and those big guys, but our group, our community. So for the most part, everybody is awesome. Yeah, I would never be able to walk. I mean, can you imagine me doing a 5 hour marathon? But yeah, and I mean, I guess the first guy I got to know in the YouTube community was Ryan from Breakout Cards. He's here from Florida, and we used to go to tons of shows, and I went to shows. Got to meet him, and really, he was the guy that I've been rooming with at the Nationals. But it's just been really the best experience of my life. So usually I'll go and don't have too much plans at the National as far as exactly what I'm going to get. It just what happens happens. I find something. So usually, as far as my walk, I go down this route, and that's the route that takes me to there's the other entrance, and you've got over there the elementary school and stuff. So usually I'll go down that route. But this time, we're gonna keep going straight, and we're gonna go to that mall there. See, this area out here is the swamp. If you can see, there's some. Merry Christmas. You got a great pre-war collection, my friend. Really liking stuff you collect. Uh, Collector, not hoarder. Check out his stuff. So this is kind of a swamp in there. You have like a little uh, canal, a little river in there. So we're gonna head up to the main road. So you gotta be careful here. So this is really quiet area. So you can see through there. You see some of the water in there, and then you got the highway on that side. But this area is pretty nice and clean. Thanks. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. But yeah, I just really just hopped on, kind of just to let everybody know, just thank you all for your support and wish you all a Merry Christmas and yeah, Happy Hanukkah, which is coincidence, the same day as Christmas this year. So I'm going to walk for a while. I'm going to show you them all. Want to hang out with me and listen to me chat and talk? That's fine. And I appreciate that very much. Check out Florida, which is a nice area. We're out in the west part. This is relatively close to the Everglades. I'll show you when I get down the street here. We got I-75, which is one of the major highways that runs down this area. And we are, hey, Cooter. Yeah, everybody has hobby goals. And with me, for years, I've been pretty consistent. I think the last 10 years or so, I've been focusing more on just trying to collect certain players through war and consolidating my collection. Happy holidays. Thank you, Gary. So really kind of consolidating my collection some and focusing on certain, more high-end cards. So that's why you don't see me buying a lot of stuff. I'll save up and then I'll sell and trade and stuff to come up with something that I'm looking for. So as far as my specific goals, first, again, I always am trying to look for upgrades to my Goodwin Champion set. Uh, so I'm looking for a couple of guys in the tennis, which is Sears. And it's not the guy that started Sears, but that's one of the tennis players. Sears and Dwight. Those two specific cards in higher grades than the three have been eluding me for over 20 years. And I've been on them, I tried, but somehow I've missed out. Those two are specific cards that I'm always looking for. And there's a couple other guys from the Goodwin Champion set that I'd like to upgrade, but for the most part, I'm good with it. Hey Barry, I know you were walking this morning. Kind of gave me the idea to walk today. And I appreciate you focusing your Christmas walk on on God, on the Lord, and Christmas. What Christmas is all about. So as far as that, Cooter, the next thing is trying to pick up uh, another Walter Johnson, one or two Walter Johnson cards. Um, and I'm also looking to get a couple of, hey, John, great to have you on, my friend. Merry Christmas. So, I'm looking to still go for some pre-war. No, I won't be looking for refractors, even though it's just been funny that people have been giving me some refractors, and I've looked back in my collection, and I should pull out some stuff that I actually have. I do have some stuff from the '90s that is serial numbered and stuff from way back when. But I like to pick up also some Mayo Cup plugs. I'd like to get the Dan Brothers card from there, and a couple of more pre-war. So my pre-war guys, what I'm trying to do is pick up, two Cap Ansons, two King Kellys, two Dan Brothers, things like that of the big Hall of Famers, and then some other guys. Of course, Cobb. I'd like to pick up a Wagner, but Wagner's already out of my reach. Looks like, but maybe one day. There's some big trade somehow someday. So this is a street we're going to cross here, so you can get into the mall. They're fixing the street up, so it's going to be a little bit before I may be able to cross here. So we'll have to see what happens. But since there isn't much traffic, I'm hauling ass. Hey, I made it. All right, we're done. So, hey, Merry Christmas, Peter B. You're the van. See, Peter's got some really nice pre-war guys. He's got some nice Allen and Ginter. I like to pick up an Allen and Ginter. Also, one of the stars there. I don't know if I'll be able to get the Anson there, but or the Kelly, but one of the stars, maybe the Keefe. Jaywalking. Yeah, I did. But one side was completely red because there's a turning lane, and there was no other cars coming, so I just booked it. So this is the shops at Pembroke Mall. Hey, Adam. Hey, my friend. You're so awesome. You shout out everybody. So this is the entrance of the mall here. And that's one of the restaurants here called Firebirds. And got a big old ball there. So we're gonna go ahead and check it out. It's closed right now, but that's probably a good thing because if not, this place has been packed. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Hammer. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Yeah, I'm doing my walk today and wanted to chat. My kids are grown up already, so it's not like doing Christmas with smaller kids anymore. So I figured I'd go and take my walk. Later, I'm gonna go see my parents or my mom and the rest of the family. But for me, as far as Christmas, one of my memories when I was younger is I would always ask for baseball cards or games, board games, things like that. Uh, I had Hot Wheels and stuff. I got a bunch of those still, but not really that much into a lot of stuff. Mostly games. I used to play a lot of the games because I had I have two sisters, and both my sisters really enjoyed playing, Monopoly and Scrabble and Stratego and those type of games. And really, and my favorite game really was chess. I played a lot of chess. Evil Knievel and Star Wars. Yeah, yeah. I wasn't into too much of those. Of course, it was before then. We're talking back in the early late '60s, early '70s. So, but yeah, we uh we really played games and stuff like that. And then I opened my cards later. Hey, Bader. What's up, Anthony? It's good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a good Christmas. So, yeah, we're just gonna hit the mall on a day that the mall is closed. So I thought that was, look at this. Tomorrow, this place will be packed. That's the Old Navy store. So for me, as far as collecting, yeah, it started back in the 60s, late 68 was when I remember opening packs in 1970. And I used to buy boxes of that. I remember that. And I know I opened up in 68 because when I went back to check my collection, I had a bunch of 68s, 69s, and then from 70 on, I practically had the. So uh, I ended up that a lot of the doubles. I actually had two Nolan Ryan rookies. I kept the better one. I still have it graded a 5. I sold the other one. I sold it raw because in those days you sell them raw. And so anyway, we're here at the mall. That's the Village Tavern. And this is raw sushi. Uh, Guys, I gotta tie my shoelace here. Let's sit you here a minute. Okay. So give me a minute here, relax with the music, unless I get kicked off for having music. So, shit. All right. Okay, guys, we're back. My shoelace when untied. Hey, so we're at this mall, which is the Pembroke Gardens Mall. We got the Village Tavern here. It's a really nice mall. It's a walking mall because, of course, in Florida, you want a walking mall. So since there's nobody here and it's closed today, we're just gonna walk it in the middle here, walk in the street. So I'll share with you the mall here. There's the raw sushi. I know I need to do that. I didn't. I didn't do it again. I just tied it up again. So it may come loose another time. That's the pub. That's an English pub. Really great place there. Some of the best fish and chips you'll find, especially here in South Florida. So Petty, you're up. It's early for you. What? It's 7 something. Maybe you can sell some of your products here at the salon suite. You got there's a car coming. I get out of the street. Good morning, Cash. Thanks for coming on. So you just walk in the mall when it's closed. This is the Ann Taylor. Share some of this stuff with you. It's some nice music. This is a dessert place. It's sugar. Shaking the cobwebs. Yeah, that's for sure. Look at this place, man. It's a candy store. I don't know if you can see in there. Nah, yeah, you can see a little bit in there. You can see his meal. It's a nice candy store. It's sugar. There it is. Talking about that. And so we got over here, we got a Yankee Candle and Lens Crafters, Chico's. And you got some a jewelry store here. Another salon. People want to look pretty down here in South Florida, because that's where the beautiful people live. Just kidding. But there is a lot of spas here, I'm telling you. It's kind of crazy sometimes. First time I had a facial was like this year. Yeah, you need a walk, yeah. And then you need a shower, Bath and Body Works. So you got an intimate store over there. And then you got Victoria's Secret, Athletica. That's a clothing. That's where I need to go get me some decent walking things. See, that's another type of thing. You see a lot of athletic places, athletic stores here, because here it's like, I mean, right now it's 72 degrees, beautiful weather. There's another fancy Kendra Scott jewelry store, fancy stuff. It's got fancy. It's Brighton. Get in those steps. Yeah, I try to get about 10,000 steps a day. I don't do it, of course, every day, but when I walk, I do. So I do the best I can. Is it that cold over there? Freezing, huh? Getting a lot of texting from my buddies there. Sure, it's Merry Christmas. They're texting. There's a Haagen-Dazs here. See, after you exercise, you need that. So you got Swarovski here. More women's clothes, white, black, black, white, white, black market. But it's a cool little mall because they have like areas where you can hang out, you can sit down and, have coffee and have, you know, ice cream. So it's a nice little mall, and it's good that today it's kind of closed. There's a cheesecake factory over there. But it's a good thing for a walk in the morning. You got the loft over here. So we're gonna move on here. Check out. There's the Banana Republic and the Lululemon. Yeah, it looks like some stores may be open later on. I'm sure that the Cheesecake Factory is going to open later. But I hope everybody's having an awesome time, an awesome day with the family. I mean, that's really what it's all about. It's all about spending time with family. And that's why I figured I'd hang out with you guys, because you are kind of family. Walking to the Cheesecake Factory, yeah. See, I could go ahead and walk, get my exercise in, and then justify going in and getting a cheesecake after that. But those cheesecake, I can't even eat a whole cheesecake. Those things are huge. But this is where I like to go. No, not the Banana Republic. The Havana 1957. It's a Cuban restaurant. A lot of cool, nice restaurants here. I mean, some of these are expensive, but for every once in a while, enjoy it. Whenever Mike Petty comes down, oh, I got to watch that. I love that. That marathon, that Ken Burns marathon is awesome. And yeah, they put it every year. Yeah, so whenever Mike Petty comes down, I'm going to bring him here or here. That's another good one here, Brimstone. Or maybe I'll take him over to this one over here, Rio. So Petty, come to South Florida. Dinner's on me, my friend. So I try to get a hold of Jason. Jason is everyday car collector. He was Jason. Yeah, he was going on a cruise. So he left out of here, Mr. Barnes and Noble. So, but yeah, if anybody comes to South Florida, just let me know. We'll see if we can meet up or something. I'm gonna walk into the end of the mall and we'll just kind of get out of here. But just appreciate everybody just hanging out with me. I know it's kind of boring just watching me walk. I figured, I had nothing better to do. Oh man, and you got to remember, I'm retired. I can do what I want. You tell me I'm coming now, I'm here. You know. Ah, they're opening a new place here. Go check that out here. But yeah, man, anybody who wants to come down here, I mean, I met up with a lot of YouTubers already. I was just hoping to go to Orlando, meet a couple more up there, but I don't know if we'd be able to make it. It's a Sunglass Hut, South Moon Under, Pandora. Let's check out the new store they're opening there, Crema. Check that out. And that Sirocco is a great Mediterranean restaurant over there, the Sirocco. We'll walk over that way. Yeah, I figured I'm on my walk. I'd at least show you something better than just trees and stuff. So I'll give you a good look at some of them all. But yeah, um, next thing I'm doing is going to be on, I mean, may put a video up, but on the 29th, I'm going to be on with Dan and Dylan live, doing a live stream. Here's another spot. You see, I told you there's a lot of spas down here, Petty. And there's a gelato place here. It's a cool little hangout, a gelato place. And then a nice little Peruvian restaurant here. Kind of fancy, but it's good. They got a lot of great ceviche if you like ceviche. Ceviche, raw seafood, but it's really cooked in lemon and stuff. So we got that. I'm going to go ahead and make a move here. You see the rest of the places. You got a couple of bars there. You got that bar there. You got another bar, the Brass Tap. That's a little bar there. And then you got DSW Shoes at the end. And then you got the big Nike store. This is the big Nike store, which takes up this whole corner. And that's kind of the main entrance. Came into the back. So yeah. See right here? That's what Petty needs to do to move here. There's a realtor. And there's the barber shop. And I love this place here, Line. It's one of the better Mexican restaurants here. I mean, it's pretty inexpensive, but it's pretty fresh food, really good stuff. Hey, what's up, my friend? I love your channel. I'm glad you started YouTube. I try to comment on all of yours, but I just can't comment on everyone. So I comment on you every once in a while. But I do check out your channel. So thanks for supporting me. Thanks for being there. So we're just walking the mall because there's nobody at the mall. I mean, they open later on, but I figured I'd go ahead and walk, share some of the stuff, some of the stuff they got there. This is Spazio. There's Santa. I'll share some stuff with you guys. This is the Mediterranean restaurant, which is pretty nice. Merry Christmas. So let's see here. Yeah, it's got to be cold over there, I would imagine. But here it's really great weather. Really, I just can't complain. It's not as sunny as it usually is, but it's beautiful. I don't know what this is, Arula. Oh, I don't know, some fancy place. Oh, this is for kids and stuff like that, fancy stores. This one's a cool little restaurant here. All right, we're going to go this route here. Just kind of giving you a look at the mall for the most part. and got a good bakery. Everything's kind of closed here. And you got the shipping place over here. And one of my favorite places is in the corner coming up, and I don't have too many anymore, which is the, I'll share it in a minute. This is more spa stuff. Madison Reed. Petty can sell these people stuff. You got David's Bridals. Over here, you got a nice little bakery, and you got that Misha's cupcake. Sorry, freezing. Did you see that Lou Rock got a dog, man? That was awesome. And Bob was super excited. That was a great live stream last night. It was a lot of fun. And I love that kind of stuff because, it's just like being with the family. That's a great bakery there. Hey, John. Merry Christmas, friend. Hey, everybody's in. Thank you. Thank you, Peacemaker. Appreciate it, buddy. Just walking the mall today because it's a perfect day to walk the mall when it's closed. And that's a nice little tapas and wines. Casa Española, España. And I like this little South Italian. It's a nice little place. But I got to tell you, my favorite. Hey, what's up, my buddy? It's great to see you. Hopefully, I catch you at the next one, at the next show. But that's my buddy Scrapbook, Oxy. Won't mention names, but no, it's not the Carrot Express. Right next to the Carrot Express, they got one of my favorite places. Yeah, man. And it's this the Fuddruckers, the world's greatest hamburgers, the Fuddruckers. You guys hadn't eaten these? They've closed most of them, but there's still a few of them open. But yeah, and here they converted. It's a Fuddruckers, but they have Spanish stuff for John Mangini. Check out that choripan. It's like a Cuban style hot dog. So hot dog sausage stuff, it's good stuff. And that is the hottest bar in the area, the Agave Bandito. The Agave, this place gets packed. It goes all the way around in the back. But that place, it's pretty busy. One of the busiest places. So the rest of the mall, we're not going to hit it. I'm going to start heading back. But here they got like a beautiful apartment complex here next to the mall. And then you got some more stuff going on across here. You got a lot more restaurants and stuff over here. Another one of my favorite places to go eat and have a beer is coming up here. I'll share it to you in a minute. But yeah, John, we're just taking a walk. Figured, there's nothing to do Christmas Eve. I got older kids already, and I don't have a dog that I got to walk like Mike Petty, or I don't have a cat like you, John, that you gotta feed. But that, cats are easy. I had a cat exactly like John's cat. Exactly with the white with the black stuff. I've got to send John a picture of that cat, exactly like John's. But yeah, so just taking this walk here, and appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm gonna go ahead and cut over here. Another spot coming up, and a couple other restaurants here. But yeah, see, this is the other entrance. This is Pembroke Gardens. So that would be the other entrance. A lot of places around here, and then here you got another area, the other entrance to the mall. And this is another place that you just, when it's open, man, it's packed. But it's a great little bar. And I'll share it with you in a minute here. It's great views. It says scenic views. Scenic views. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Twin Peaks. It's kind of like a Hooters. It is like a Hooters, a little fancier. I don't know if any of you guys ever been to a Twin Peaks, but food's pretty good. It's a pretty nice little place. and it's all so inside and out. They got like mosquito thing there for mosquitoes and flies, but yeah, the adventure starts here. So that's that. See what they got specials here. Check. Oh yeah, they got. See, that's the bar. See, they'll open it later on, I'm sure. Oh yeah, they got the $1.50 half off and the $5. All nice stuff. That's not bad. Not bad. But anyway, that's Twin Peaks, and then you got another great place here, another sushi place, Pub Belly. Another little place that's pretty nice. I'm not a big sushi fan. I mean, I just not. I'll have some sometimes, but not really. Give me some cooked stuff. And I do eat healthy, but not a huge fan of sushi. So this is the Pub Belly sushi. And they got the heaters out here, which really you don't need it. We're in South Florida. It's 72 degrees already. But they got a lot of good deals in this one too. They got a whole bunch of all rolls, $10. They got there to be closing Christmas Eve. Happy hour. They all got happy hours here. A Billy happy hour. But yeah, they used to have a bunch. They actually started in South Florida, and they had a few of them here. But they started closing the Fuddruckers, and then they weren't doing too well. It ended up that they were bought out, and they're kind of coming back a little bit. The owner is one of the largest. He's one of the what can I say? One of the richest black men in the country. Don't remember his name, but he bought out the whole franchise. This is pretty good. The Habit Burger also, and then you got Pyology over here, and then here they're trying to copy another spa. This is Tesla spa. Nothing to do with Tesla, but it's Tesla spa. So we're gonna head back. I'm gonna head back to my house. A little more walk to go. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about baseball cards, and you know, I got there's a lot of people that haven't followed me for a while, so I'm just gonna kind of go back a little bit and talk a little bit about my collecting history and how I started collecting. I started collecting when, you know, well, I was born in Cuba, came to this country when I was a little kid, and really didn't have anything. I mean, when we came to this country, we had nothing at all, just with the clothes on our back. They took away all the stuff that we had, my mom's, dad's, such well, the suitcases and stuff. So when we left Cuba, they took everything away. We went to Honduras, and we ended up coming over here later on in October of 1960. And I was a little kid at the time, and of course I didn't know the language. All I knew was Spanish, and they put me in a school here in Miami. Well, to come in back in those days when you came to this country, it wasn't like you just came in. Man, they did everything. They checked everything out. They gave you shots. They everything. I mean, they gave me some type of booster on my leg. It says I was a kid, or some guys, the older people, they give it on the arm back in those days. And I still have the scar from that booster shot, which was like I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was one of those things where you had to spend time and days and stuff. We went in the Freedom Tower in Miami, and that's where we went through all that stuff. And when I started coming here, I went to school, and I think I was the only one. I don't remember being able to talk to anybody because I didn't know how to speak English, and nobody really did. Back in Miami, back in the 1960, 61, 62, all that area. At that time, we were the first Latinos to come here. So we're going to go ahead and make this here. The light is on. So I'm just going to jog across here real quick before the light changes. We're turning. No. So when I came here, they put me in a school there, Citrus Grove Elementary School, and you know it wasn't easy because I was the only Latino, and yeah, there was people back in those days did kind of make fun of you and stuff, and didn't speak language, those type of things, and you know, and I kind of made friends with a few people. Eventually, I learned English, and I lived in Northwest Miami. I hung out more with the Latinos and the blacks uh, in that area because that's kind of where I grew up, Northwest Miami, near, pretty close to the Orange Bowl. Well, way north of the Orange Bowl, but pretty close. I'd say about 3, 4 miles from the Orange Bowl. And close to that area also was the old Miami Stadium. And in Miami Stadium was where the Orioles played. So my grandfather, he uh, he was a big baseball fanatic, and that's how I got into it more. Him and my dad loved baseball, but my dad, when we came to this country, he worked 2, 3 jobs at a time. So I didn't see him much, only late at night and on Sundays. And, we went to church and stuff. But for the most part, I spend the time with my grandpa, and he sponsored some teams in Cuba because he had a couple of grocery stores. So he sponsored some teams, and he knew some players that eventually became major leaguers. And so he would take me to Miami Stadium, spring training games with the Orioles. That's why I was a big Orioles fan. I still am an Orioles fan. Orioles and Yankee fan because the Yankees also played spring training in Fort Lauderdale. So I was able to see those too. So, but anyway, uh, my grandfather, took me to the game. And, in those days, I played a little baseball with my friends. I had 4 brothers that were across the street from me. And the dad coached baseball. So so I played with them. I wasn't very good. Yeah, man, I can't wait. Spring training's coming up now. Just couple more months here. It seems about 3 months, but it's coming. So anyway, I would, you know, I like baseball, but I wasn't a huge fan. But then when I went with my grandfather to the games, and specifically one game which I'll never forget, and that's the one that got me started. And when we got a foul ball. He got a foul ball, and he knew one of the players on the Orioles team, and the guy's name happened to he was the same name as me, Orlando. His name was Orlando Pena. He was a pitcher, and at the end of the game, and I've told this story before, but for those of you that haven't heard it, I'll say it again. So my grandfather, after the game, and in those days at spring training, you could just go, once the game was over, you go right down there, and you could almost go to the field, just go right up to the fence. Nobody was really there. He called the guy over, and Mr. Pena came over. He introduced me to him. He signed the ball, and then he said, come on, let's go to the dugout. I'll get more autographs on this ball. So followed him to the dugout, and we sat there, and I sat there at the corner of the dugout while he kind of passed the ball around, and he was talking to my grandfather. And as he talked to my grandfather, Brooks Robinson had the ball, came and sat next to me, and started talking to me. And I'm going like, this is Brooks Robinson. I seen him on TV before, and I seen him on the cards, and I figured, "Phew, I can't believe this guy's talking to me." And then the other guys came over, and it was Jim Palmer and Boog Powell and Al Bunbury. I mean, it seemed like a bunch of the team. I still have that ball, and I've shown that ball many times. Some of the autographs were faded, but that really got me going. So then I really started collecting more cards and really got more into baseball. And I played Little League for a while. I wasn't that good. Uh, my friend were good. And one of my friends actually was drafted by the Yankees, and he went to the minors. And I have a minor league card of him. And, Jose's his name. What's his last name? But he was a great player. And he spent a year in the minors. And after that, I think he just gave up. You know, he told me he got homesick. It was just a lot because it's a lot of work, and you never know. So anyway, I started collecting cards, and I started really building sets. And uh, after I went off to college, I put my cards away after I went to college, and then went to college. I got married right away, and kids right away. So about 6, 7 years later, I guess, somewhere around there, I get a call from my mom. I had already moved to Tampa, and I was living in the Tampa area, actually in Tampa in the Brandon area. Uh, More specifically, there's an area called the Bloomingdale area, and actually I lived in. It's called the Indian Hills. There's a subdivision I lived there, and that's where I really started. Uh, you know, with my cards more as a collection and business type thing. So my mom called me. I went. I picked up all my cards. She had found my cards, picked them all up, and you know, I started doing card shows to sell off all my doubles, and I was able to do that. But the main thing with doing the card shows was that I was able to buy a lot of cards and a lot of collections. And in those days, I'd go to the card show, and they were mostly all at the mall, and you would maybe I'd sell $300, $400 on a good day, and but I probably bought $200, $300. I always had to take some money home so my wife could see, oh yeah, you came home with a couple $100. That's good, make some money. But half of that money I spent on more collections, and that's kind of what I did for a few years. And my kids were little, and I took them to the shows, and they enjoyed it, and it was fun. And I did that for God, I don't know, maybe 10 years. And that's kind of how I have the name of my channel, A Collector's Dream, is actually my business that I had back in the 80s. And I've shown the business card, and that is the business card. It says A Collector's Dream with a little glove and a bat in it. And it was just basically me, kind of thinking, what would my dream collection look like, and dreaming cards that I would like to have. And in those days, it was the 52 manual, and even to have a T206 card, even one T206 card was like huge back then. So just you know, that's where the collector's dream came from. It was a business I incorporated back in the 80s, and did card shows, and I still have a few of those cards left, business cards. But so as time went on, I really became more of a set builder because I would buy collections from people that came in at the card shop. I also did a lot of garage sales back in those days where you could literally find cards. Now it's almost impossible, but back in those days it was a little easier, I think. At least less competition. But we didn't have eBay. So that was the hard part of it, that we didn't have any other methods other than just going to garage sales, card shows, and things like that. But, you know, you did what you had to. So I continued to building sets. I ended up at one time. I went, at the end of my set building. Of course, I had every set from the '70s and on through about 94, 95. I think is when I actually stopped building sets. And I had in the '60s almost every set from the '60s and about half of the sets from the '50s built, including the '53 Bowman and the almost all the '53 tops and the '57, '58, '59. Had all those sets and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I started that route. But then, you know, later I started focusing on about 25 years ago. I bought some of those Goodwin Champion cards from the collection. I think it was about 10, 12 of them, maybe about 12. I don't remember how many raw. And I love those cards. I fell in love with them when I saw them. And, I kind of put them away. It wasn't really something I wanted to focus on, but I definitely didn't want to sell them. So I put them away. And then as I thought about my collecting journey, it was mainly at that time, it was just my mantle run. Got to get my mantles, got to get my mantles. And I wanted to complete that run. And that was really the main thing back in the '80s for me. So I was able, of course, to complete the mantle run, except for the '52, which I basically told myself I would never have that card. And that's kind of how it remained for many years after that. And that was never thought. So I had to focus on something else. And you got tired of looking at all the cards from the '50s, the '60s. I mean, I literally had them all already. So and through trades and buy and selling, when you're a dealer, you see so much of those cars from the '60s and even '50s and '70s that it's like you want to do something else. So as I reviewed my collection, which everybody should do every once a year, just kind of go through and take a good look and say, what do I want and what I don't want? What am I going to refocus on? So back about 20 years ago, I started focusing on the Goodwin Champions. And there really weren't many people that even knew about them at those days. So I would literally buy whatever I would find. And then in 1999, 98, I joined eBay. I think I'm a member since '99 or '98, one of those 2 years. It was before the 2000 thing because I thought that 2000 was going to kill my computer and just, I don't know what people were thinking back in those days, that it was just going to go haywire. But anyway, I think it was right before that I started, literally just any Goodwin 1888 Goodwin champion, I would say I would buy them. And I ended up, focusing on that. And I eventually kind of built like two sets. And I got most of them graded. I think all of them graded at one point. Now I have them all graded. And build that set and started to upgrade that set. Continued to upgrade it until I was able to get that number one set. So that was my focus there. And I accomplished that. And in between, I also had 49 Leaf Premiums. And that's another story. I've told that story before. But I started that because I was just able to pick up a whole bunch of those from someone at a card show and started that journey too. But, you know, I, uh, I then started thinking, I'm going to try to focus on this and finish it. My three sets, which was my Mantle Run, my Goodwin Champions, which is pretty much, they're complete, they're all done, and the League Premium. And then the next thing was to go get some pre-war stuff. Merry Christmas. So my next thing was to kind of go back and get some cards that I really, really wanted. And that was really the pre-war, of course, from the 1800s. So I started getting some of those. I really just got into some of that stuff and got into the history of baseball and then history of Cuba and Cuban baseball, and got into the Cuban cards and Cuban players, and kind of took me back to my history. So my focus, I guess, now in the future, boy, this is an hour long. I've been walking and I've been talking, and still got some people watching. I appreciate that, guys. I really, really do. I thought you guys would be cut off soon, but at least give you a little bit different tour. We're heading back home, maybe another 15, 20 minutes. We'll see. So anyway, so that was it. That's kind of my collecting history. So now it goes back to consolidating. I have a lot of stuff that I need to sell or trade. So hey, what's up, my friend? I'm glad you're on. I've been talking for a while. I kind of went on a little uh, walk around the mall. There's nobody at the mall, and I've just been talking about some of my collecting history and stuff. But so my collecting future now is going to continue to focus on the pre-war stuff, and I'm going to try, like I've been trying to pick up for some of the rarer Hall of Famers, 2 cards of each. And that I'm talking about, like the Cap Hansons and stuff like that. You know, players like a Ty Cobb, I like to pick up like 4 of each player, 4 Ty Cobb cards and 4 Walter Johnsons, and different sets. I don't want to get like two T206s of Walter Johnson, even though I like them both, portrait and the other version. But I'll get one. I want to, get some other cards, like a different thing. And the same thing I want to do for the modern guys. I want to go ahead and cut back on some of my player runs and stuff, except for my mantle run. So, I need to pick up some Jackie cards. So I'll probably sell some of my Aaron cards, some of my other player cards, or trade those, pick up some Aaron cards. And so I have 4 Aaron cards, 4 nice Mace cards, my favorite, Uh, Morning. Hey, Ruben. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you back. I've been walking for a while, just talking about collecting, really, and my collecting history. But that's a fancy little car coming this way. But anyway, so so really, what I'm trying to do is just really trying to cut back and not. I don't need to have every card of Brooks Robinson. I can have my 4 favorite cards of Brooks Robinson. I'll be happy with that. So I think that's going to be more my route. And since I'm already retired and old, I don't want to leave thousands of cards to the family. So I want to cut back and have again, I talked about this before, but 100 cards, maybe a little more, but I'm just throwing a number out, 100 cards, but 100 great cards, you know, and I'm working on that, and that's why I'm going to continue to try to move some cards to really upgrade my collection to fewer but more iconic type cards. I'd like to get a few more Gaudis and Merry Christmas, and just get a little more variety. And pick up a couple of Diamond Stars, and just a little bit more. Like I have one Tattoo Orbit, maybe I'll pick up another Tattoo Orbit card. I have a couple of cards from some of the more popular sets, but the good players, the players that I want to collect. And then I eventually want to pick up a Honus Wagner card, a decent Wagner card, and that's going to be another challenge. That's kind of like the challenge that I had in my mantle. I gave up a majority of my collection for that, but I'm glad I did. So, and I'm willing to go that route, and give up a whole bunch of stuff to pick up some of the better dream cards. I mean, I want to pick up specifically. team from the 50s. I don't, I'm looking for the 52, really. I'd like to get, like everyone, the Jackie and the Mays, and that would complete all the cards I want from 52. Uh, yeah, yeah, I do know about the Indianapolis Clowns. The Indianapolis Clowns started here in Miami, and they were the Miami Clowns, Homestead Miami Clowns, I think they were called, or Homestead Clowns, Miami Clowns, the Miami Clowns. And yeah, they started here, uh, and basically it was kind of like, from what I know, it was like a sideshow type thing. A lot of the Henry Flagler brought the railroad down here, and it was built by the blacks, and they built an area here which was called Colored Town, which is now Overtown. And in that area, it was built by one of the richest peanut farmers in Georgia. He was a rich black man, and he would bring the players here to uh, to give them jobs at the hotels that he built here, and they would go to play in the Caribbean, the islands, Cuba, and so. So Rube Foster came down here and basically built the Negro Leagues in 1920, and here uh, in Overtown. And one of the teams was the Clowns, and the Clowns started. A lot of them were players, but they worked at the hotels there, you know, and they were there more to entertain because a lot of the blacks that stayed in those hotels were people like that had a lot of money. It was called the uh, something of the South, Broadway of the South. Because a lot of actors and stuff would come here. Merry Christmas. So anyway, they the Miami Clowns was like a team. They were great players, but they were more of clowns to entertain versus they played some of the other teams, which were good teams in those days, the Grays and the Crawfords and all that stuff that would come down here. But initially, they were called the okay, no, they were called the Ethiopian Clowns. That was the first name. The first name they were given was the Ethiopian Clowns. It was like a parody. It was like a fun thing. They made fun of themselves and they dressed up and did all that. They were called the Ethiopian Clowns. And then the people objected to that name, so they changed it to the Miami Clowns. And then after that, they eventually, to get better players, they were bought out by can't remember, somebody in Indianapolis bought out the team and named it the Indianapolis Clowns. But yeah, it started as the Ethiopian Clowns, the Miami Clowns, and then the Indianapolis Clowns. And they were an awesome team, but they were kind of a more of a, like the name said, clowns. They entertained. They did a lot of skits. They had pre-planned skits that they would do and things like that. And they had one that was called the invisible ball, where they would just kind of do like it was shadow ball. Sorry, not the invisible. They would do shadow ball, where they pretend they were throwing the ball, and they didn't really have the ball, but it was a shadow ball, and just some cool stuff that the clowns really um, invented back in the day to entertain the people that would come down from up north to South Florida for the winter, and a lot of the players were already here. So that's where the Negro League started. It started over here in what was called Color Town, right off of the, the railroad. And I did a video, if you want to go back and look at it. Dorsey Park was the name of the park. And you can look it up, you can Google it. You can see pictures of Dorsey Park. And that was where they originally started the Negro Leagues. And the first games were played. And Josh Gibson played there. Satchel Paige played there. The great Cuban pitchers, Jose Mendez, and just pretty much all of them played there. And that's one of the uh, Josh Gibson is said to have hit a home run like 800 feet. Well, it was there in Dorothy Park, and it's said to have gone over the right center field fence, past the railroad tracks. So I went out there because the railroad tracks there, the stadium's still there. No stands or anything. It's more of a like a little league stadium now. But I went out there, and I can't imagine a ball being hit past that place. And if you want to go back and look at the video that I did on Dorsey Park, Negro League, you'll see it when I went out there. And I stood on the mound that Satchel Paige stood, and he pitched off that mound. And just some great history there. And you'll see also on the front, it has the logos for the Indianapolis Clowns and the Ethiopian Clowns. So you'll see that in the video that I took when I went down there. But some real rich history here in South Florida, because again, we were a gateway to the Caribbean. So a lot of the players, they'd come through Miami, and they'd go down to wherever, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, and places like that where they would play. So pretty fun stuff. I just love the history of the game, and that kind of is what got me into a lot of going back into those type of things. So anyway, guys, I think I'm pretty much done here. Just share a little bit of the lake here. I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and. Anybody else have anything else you want to talk about? But if not, catch me on Sunday. I'll be on the Four Collectors, and thank you, my friend. So I'll be on the Four Collectors, and it should be a fun show because the person on there is going to be Dylan. I'm going to be with Dylan, but Dylan's always the star of the show. His enthusiasm is just contagious. So it's going to be great being with Dylan, and also being with Dan, Dan's Vintage, who's one of the most knowledgeable guys in this hobby, and just a fun guy to talk to. So catch me on that, and at a 25-mile speed limit. So I'm going to be heading home. Everybody have an awesome, awesome day. Have a Merry Christmas, and have a very, very, very happy New Year, guys. Thanks for watching. Orlando from A Collector's Dream. Merry Christmas.